fine chalk line and put the needle to the grind. Representing one kind, see an eye for the blind. Witness what I carry on bears a further purpose. From how we do slam a few, then you wanna purchase a dialogue of funk. You love to pop it in your trunk. I win more discipline than a Shaolin monk. Pete Rock and CL, well set to spark it. The powerful target to destroy the black market. But when you say black, listen, I don't know, you lose me. I guess another beggar can't afford to be choosy. I come to the maximum, artist on the major label. Any duplication of this one is fatal. On 125, I gotta hit your live, beat your ass with my tape, any race or shape. Cause if they got mine, they got yours too. But together, here's what we gotta do.
You know this is the word. That's right, y'all. We got to. Everybody must say what. Yeah. It's like that.
The funk legacy I pass on, clearancy for high rates. Every time we sample all the pastime greats, stick it in the SP 1200 P to make a loop. Lovely way to troop in the Lexus coupe. Just a little bit set to make a whole lot happen. The musical inside my rapping, written by the CL, produced by the PR, and any credit that you heard thus far. A start from scratch cause the bass line's critical, better than the original who first made it. Now you wanna sue me, but fans never boo me. Believe I know the times we've been broke too, G. Here's another sample clear, see you get the hell out of here. Like a bootleg, you're over for the year. You only get the credit where the credit is due. So listen, what I shout out is true.
You got to tell them to say what. You got to tell them to say what. That's right. Come on. Say what. That's right. Straighten it out.
Like the strands of limbs, well I'm thinking that's said. Here to go to the head and count the locks on the dread. I and I lit to verify, growing to multiply. A theory many thought a conspiracy. Here to let you know that it applies to all of us. You know exceptions to the rule and that's a plus. Cause who job blessed, let no one curse. Straighten out what I be about, reckon above the clout. And let the management work for me. Because I don't need the unnecessary hostility. A proper marketing plan so we can gobble up the dough. Straighten it out so everybody know the kids are official with the purpose of a smooth surface. Kicking the service one time to make them nervous. We're finally here and very long overdue. Pete Rock, this one's for the crew.
Everybody must say what. You gotta. Everybody must say what. You got to. Come on, say what. All black people must say what. Everybody must. The YGs they must. The hilltop they must. The whole money earning must. Everybody must. Come on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ain't no nigga never look that good, but ain't never look that good. I'm talking about me.
The street girl has great heart and hardihood. She has to because of the hazards in the street. The call girl is usually some brittle kitten who wants to be pampered. And she, of course, prefers the gigolo type of fellow who accepts a portion of the money and who does not really control his woman. Holding a stable getter requires the pimp to keep each individual member of the stable in apparent competition. The competitive spirit in women, particularly prostitutes, is extremely high.
They make through so many unnecessary changes, girl. I am so tired and worn out.
But you ain't through for the night yet, is
You think so, huh?
Run your mouth.
Yeah, I know so.
Okay.
I know so.
Okay, you know you ain't by yourself.
All right. I'm speaking for myself right now.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
That's right. You got that right.
I thought you had it once today. Smart. You got a lot to learn. You
don't worry about it.
Oh, I ain't got nothing to say, myself.
I got a long way to go and much more to do.
Listen,
I got a long way to go and much more to do, but it ain't gonna be done tonight.
But y'all hush all that shit.
fat mouth.
I'm sick of Mabel.
It's me that's talking to you. Scared to talk to me?
Look, why don't we just look out the window or something here?
I'm
I don't see
tired.
that in them damn window.
I'm disgusted. And I just don't, you know.
All of us, honey, all of us.
Well, I don't know.
Hey, where you going?
I'll be back, honey.
When I asked you a question, you answer.
David, I'm messing with y'all, so y'all just get off my case.
Hey, I heard about a new game. Let's play it. It's called Silence. Shut up.
I bet you had your
She
fill.
thinks she really cute up there, you know.
She done had her
See where I'm sitting, baby.
The life of a pimp is unremitting tension and pressures. A pimp lives on the precipice of disaster. I think he's the most hated and feared creature of the underworld because of his the sexual aspects of his profession.
Me either.
You're all gonna be through if you don't be quiet.
I became a pimp primarily because of the influence of well-heeled pimps and other hustlers during a period of dire poverty in my life. And I feel that I was influenced by the flashy glamour, the infestation of diamonds on these hustlers, and also by their big flashy cars. And I wanted a sense of importance. And I was a pimp for about 25, 30 years. When I first got to Chicago, I had this wild dream of picking the brain of the town's top pimp, and eventually I did. In retrospect now, I suppose I could say that I wanted to be like God for a whore, you see. And my total image of myself was that I was some sort of black, evil Swingali. My image among my contemporaries and fellow pimps and among whores was that I had class.
Okay, meet me at 55th and Cottage Grove in about 10 minutes, okay? Okay.
When he feels that you're suffering especially.
And what do I do besides suffer?
Well, you have your studies at UCLA.
24 hours a day, Dad?
Darling, get involved. Find something outside of your own problems to worry about, something important, something worthwhile. What you need is to feel that you're making a real...
Don't you have to meet a trick in 5 minutes?
Each one of you
I'll make it.
would make a great contribution to world peace by serving through the United Nations. As ambassador to the United Nations, I'm recruiting potential peace heroes.
Mabel, you're gonna miss that trick if you don't get moving.
Your strong bodies,
The trick ain't going nowhere, Daddy. Don't worry about it, okay?
dedicated hearts, do the greatest job ever attempted by man. Now the future is in your hands. What are you going to do about it? You've just heard an address by Ambassador John Post, representative to the United Nations.
Pimps who commit violence on whores of his stable are suffering from insecurity. He's lost his power over that particular girl in his stable. The dumbest broad will take advantage of that. Normally, a pimp doesn't develop paranoia until after he's had lots of track action. By that I mean lots of mileage with whores. He gets to the point where he believes whores are so devious and so cunning because he's copped and he's blown so many that his mind rots. And he himself has played so much con on the whore, and he's lied to the whore so much that he doesn't know a lie from the truth.
Yeah, baby. Wait. Mabel, what's the matter, honey? I got what's the matter with you? It's cold feeling stuff. Wait, take care of me, man.
Honey, Tina's sick. She got pains in her stomach or something, baby.
There ain't a in the world under 22 that gets sick. Don't you know that? Now get out of my face.
Chanela, she's really sick. I gotta
Honey, Tina's really sick. We gotta get a doctor, baby.
Bring her upstairs.
How's Tina?
The pimp is an ill man, and I think he should be treated as an ill man and as a victim of this racist white society that makes possible his street poisoning, that makes possible the rotting inside his head. I think that what we need to do, if we deprive the pimp, and if young women can be dissuaded, you see, then the pimp is going to have to find some other way to make a living, like till tapping, or let him play the con on the white folks downtown, you know. If prostitution were legalized, that the top echelon pimps would do well because they'd have the experience and expertise necessary to organize and to open houses. What it would do also, it would mean that recruitment would be much easier for pimps. It would mean that the hazards, now when a pimp turns out a girl, he's got to turn out in the street, more or less. With the houses, you see, open and legal, it would mean that a girl wouldn't have to be put through the kind of comprehensive training that one must give a street girl. It would mean that pimps could just take a girl out of hypothetically, out of a restaurant today and this evening, and tomorrow she'd be working in the house. Because all one need do is know how to lie down and open one's legs, you see, which is not a bit like it is in the street.
What is the life of a prostitute like?
It's got to be holy hell. The booby traps in the street, the death traps in the street for a prostitute. Her life, the life of a prostitute is filled with tension and the pressure of the pimp. Many pimps insist upon a minimum. That means that a girl cannot show unless she's got a C note. C note, if she's flat backing. Flat backing means just straight sex, on your back. C note is the $100.
Why does a prostitute need a pimp?
Most of the prostitutes that I've known and the ones that I've controlled needed me because of my notoriety. They were fascinated and bewitched by my phony glamour, the poisonous pimp charisma, and they lived in my reflected glory, so to speak. It gave them a sense of importance. The most brutal pimps are illiterate, low IQ people who enforces his rules and regulations with his fist because he doesn't know the intricacies of psychology. The threat of violence has always been much more potent, I found, in my experience. Pimps and whores today are anachronisms in the face of the kind of thing that has occurred in Black America since Malcolm X. He defined our enemies, I should say. And our enemies are both within and without. Malcolm X defined the atrocity that pimping is, that the exploitation of the black woman is.
Long way from where you supposed to be.
What an asshole!
I thought you ain't supposed to think.
Brother Beck, your autobiography, Pimp, which you wrote, it may have encouraged a lot of young brothers to become pimps. How do you feel about this?
Well, I think the fact that my autobiography, Pimp, the story of my life, the book, I think it's very unfortunate that there have been many misguided young black men who should know better, who missed the whole message in the book, and that was that I was a pretty bright guy, and yet nothing good came to me except the penitentiary and a heroin habit and misery and the complete waste of my life. And it's just incredible that, but of course, when you're street poisoned, a youngster reads the book and he rationalizes. You see, we must have a rationale for stupidity. Anytime we do something stupid, we first got to convince ourselves that we've got to do that stupid thing. So they rationalize, oh, this stud, I'm hipper than this. I won't get cracked. I won't get caught. I won't go to the joint. I won't go to the penitentiary. I won't use drugs. I won't use heroin. I won't get hooked. I won't be a junkie. I'll be cooler, Said the dude is righteous, but I'm more righteous. So I'm more together than this dude. So this dude is old, You see, this is the rationale, and that's unfortunate. In L.A., where I've been living for the last 10 years, just hordes of youngsters approach me on the street, and they try to pick my brain for the hidden treasures they think are buried inside my skull. And I always slap their wrist before they reach for it. And I try to dissuade them. But if you're street poison, you're just street poison, and you ain't gonna give up your stupid dream of something for nothing. I stupidly tried to get something for nothing. And any time that you try to get something for nothing, you're gonna suffer, one way or another,
What happens to pimps and prostitutes when they become old?
The pimps become bookies, bums, winos, dope fiends, but many of them die in joints, penitentiaries. The women They become lesbians, pimping lesbians, I might add, bordello operators, patients in mental hospitals, as do many of the pimps. Yeah, well, I hope this won't mind asking you in here for a drink after meeting you on the street there.
No, I don't mind having a drink, but as far as it'll go.
Well, I think I'm entitled to have a drink with you, since I haven't seen you in 14 years.
Oh, sure, glad to see you too, behind that time.
Yeah, I always had a lot of respect for you when you were my woman. I mean, when I had you, you were, you know, a commando.
Oh, yeah? Behind 14 years?
Well, I'm with you. I mean, I ain't pimping. I ain't trying to come back now and, you know, cop. But if you're working, I don't want to keep a lady from a
Well, I'm working. I'm a nurse of days.
I never thought you'd square up.
You've been working 7 years.
You were gung-ho for the game, you know?
Well, there was money in the day. It wasn't all that killing.
Tell me, baby, just why did you square up?
Everything was getting rough out there behind doing 10 to 15 years of time to square up. And the way they're killing tricks out there, too. That's why I squared up.
You mean the way they're killing girls? The tricks,
yeah,
yes.
The way they're killing girls and taking their money.
Anybody that we know?
Hitting them in the head. Sure, quite a few people. And so I just rather go on to work and then be bothered with them. And then I got the 10 to 15 for selling narcotics and ain't sold nothing.
You got crossed.
Got crossed because I wouldn't be a pigeon. Because I never smoked and never used in my life. That's the reason I squared up behind that. I'm scared of dying. There's nothing happening in the streets. And whoring ain't no money in whoring either. Because they don't want to spend no money. And it ain't worth it. They take you to bed and give you the money, and as soon as you lay down, they take it back, hit your head, and go on about the business. That's why I squared up. Might not wake up the next morning. Sometimes you're scared to trust your own man, he might put a pillow over your head or something. So you know when you're working every day, punching the clock, you got that bread. It's mine. And I got that every week. When they get out here on the corner and say, well, I'm gonna get a loaf of bread. Mine is made. So that's the way life is. But everybody wakes up sooner or later. Anytime you do 15 years, you wake up. Because you can't wear them bars out.
And I'm here tonight appearing before you, a well individual, free of the street poison that put me into the kind of position where I brutalized and exploited our black queens. You have to have a realization that when you exploit your own kind, that you are in effect counter-revolutionary, that you are hobbling and crippling the struggle of black people for freedom and dignity.
Robert Beck, Iceberg Slim, ex-pimp, crusades against what he calls negative glamour. He encourages young black brothers to take a sister off the corner. Pimping is not where it's at.
I'll show you what to do. Can you dig it? I'll show you what to do. Can you dig it?
All you people out there who think you're cool, let me tell you, you ain't got nobody fool. There are women out there that hate to be hurt. Men out there that are treating them like dirt. I said, let me take off. Hit again.
Let me take off.
I don't feel we should use one another. We should be more like sisters and brothers.
Let me take off.
Say it again.
Let me take off.
Take this woman off the corner, brother. She can be yours if you want her. Take this woman off the corner, brother. She can be yours if you want her. I saw a guy I thought was very cool. He wasn't just an ordinary dude. Folks say his name was Iceberg Slim, and the fellas today are trying to imitate him.
Let me take off.
I heard him say,
let me take off.